Hey y'all, it's Nat, and today I'm going to be giving y'all a little bit of a tour of my Animal Crossing Notion templates. I have a Northern Hemisphere version and a Southern Hemisphere version. It took me like a year and a half, maybe 2 years to finish this. It took forever. I was probably one of the only people who had mixed feelings when the 2.0 update dropped because I had just finished the furniture and clothing catalogs and the DIY list in this Notion template. And then all of a sudden we had over 9,000 new items and I was like, oh, so I'm not done. Okay, lovely. But here we are. I'm really excited that it's finally done. I do want to kind of make some fun art for the covers and the icons, but I didn't want to wait to share this with people until like after I had done all of that, because like this is usable and I feel like, I don't know, some people might be able to get some use out of it. I know I will. So I'm really excited. So let's just dive in, huh? So first we have the bugs section. We have like a little picture of the bug. We have the name of the critter. You can check whether or not you have donated the bug to the museum. It tells you the time frame that they'll be out, the location you can, like where you can find them, and what month you can catch these bugs. There's also like how much you can sell them for. This was one of the first spreads that I made, and so I was just trying to input like all of the information I can find. So I don't know that like this is really, I don't know if people particularly want it. If you don't want it, you can just delete the property. But yeah, it's there if you want it. I have a little tab for the May bugs since we're currently in May. So each month, if you want, you can just like, you could rename it. Like, let's say next month, it's June. June bugs, okay? And then you can just switch to June and get rid of May. You can do that, or you can also, if you would prefer to just like have all of the months like there and ready for you. So you can add a view. Let's say the only thing about this is that when you add a new view, I don't know why, but it like changes the order of the properties. I don't know why it does this. I don't know how to fix that. Hold on. Let us go to layout, wrap all columns. Click value was last, time, then location. Okay. So yeah, it like changes the order of the properties and also changes the like size of the little columns. So that's annoying, but you know, that's how you do it. You can, then you just name it. Let's say we want the January bugs. And then you can add a filter and you can filter out month, January. And that's how you do that. You can also add a sort. So I also like to have it as donated ascending so that when you check something off, it'll go to the bottom and it'll just be out of your way, you know? So that's something you can do, but I'm going to delete that view. You can also like sort or filter by the time of day or the location or whatever you want. Fish, pretty much the same thing. Only difference is we also have a column for the size of the fish, if that is of any use to y'all. I'm not great at telling what size the fish are, but some people can tell. So that's there if you would like to have it there. Again, we have the Mayfish tab ready for y'all to use. Same thing for sea creatures. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention. So for the months, they're color-coded by season. So fall is red, winter is blue, spring is purple, and summer is green. And it's the same case for the Southern Hemisphere template. So pretty much just like flip it around in terms of the order. We also have for sea creatures the shadow size and the swimming pattern, if that is at all helpful to y'all in your quest to fill out your Critterpedia. Okay, so next up we have Red's art, and I only have the real art in this template. If y'all would like me to somehow incorporate the fake art into this little Notion spread, then absolutely let me know down in the comments. I made all of these spreads based on the information that I felt like I needed to play the game, but I want this to be useful to everyone using it. I will have a little link in the like helpful ACNH guides. Here it is right here. So this will tell you like how to tell the difference between real and fake art, but you could possibly also use these. I don't know. So basically, I just have it in a gallery view and I can check off whatever has been donated and whatever hasn't been will remain unchecked. So it's a pretty simple spread. There's also a property for collected. So the idea for this was, you know, if I wanted to just collect the art to use as decor throughout the island, then I could have a separate checkbox for keeping track of what I have donated to the museum and keeping track of what I have collected just for island decor. So what you can do is just go to properties and then just click on this little eye icon, and that'll either hide that property from the little card or show it. And then next we have fossils, pretty much the same concept as the Red's art template. The only difference is that I have a little property for the price, like how much you can sell these fossils for, in case that is something of interest to y'all. Again, you don't want it, just delete it. That's fossils. Next, we get into the DIY list. So this is where it gets pretty involved. I have tabs for each like category in the DIY app on your Nook phone. So it's organized in the exact same way, okay? And basically, so let's just go through all of the properties that we have. We have the picture, which is what you see in the card. We have the category. We have the method by which you can obtain these DIYs. Some of them will have little notes. I'm actually going to move this up. So like for the Zodiac DIYs, there's going to be a note for the dates that you can get those from Celeste. For the new DIYs, like the Vine series and the Glowing Moss series, those will have a little note that says you can only get those at Captain's Island Tours or the Happy Home Paradise Archipelago. If you get a DIY from a villager, there will be a little thing indicating which villager personality you get that DIY from. If it's a seasonal DIY, it'll tell you. There's also a property for materials needed, and there's one for how to unlock that item in Happy Home Paradise. Obviously, Spork has two different names depending on, you know, where you're from. So what you can do is you can leave it as is, or you can like search him and you can just like rename him. You can usually tell from the pictures whether an item is customizable or whether it uses custom codes, but I added properties for those so that you can like filter or sort by DIYs that you can customize or that use custom codes. I also added a checkbox for whether or not you've crafted it, because once you reach a certain point in Happy Home Paradise, if you craft an item, you don't need to design a home for a specific villager in order to unlock it. So I have crafted every single DIY on my Northern Hemisphere island. So that's why I did that. And then there's also a checkbox for whether or not you've obtained that DIY. There's also a checkbox for inspo board. So I'm going to show y'all what that's for. We're gonna make a new view. So we're gonna change it to the gallery view. And we're gonna go to card preview, pick, fit image. Next we are going to filter out. We're gonna add a filter. We're gonna go to inspo board. And if it is checked, something you can do is you can go into all DIYs. So you can scroll through all of the DIYs and check anything that you think would be something that you would want on your island. So let's say I really like the bird cage. I like the bird baths too. We love the bread. Oh, okay. So let's start checking off all these cherry blossom items because I really do love them. Oh, I didn't name it. Whoops. Rename, inspo board. Oh, something else we want to do. Let's go to properties. We're going to show the inspo board check mark. Okay, so basically this filters out any of the items that you have checked off, and you can see them all together and, you know, decide whether they actually go together or not, or you can just have them all there and be like, okay, let's also show obtain. You can also see which of the DIYs you've already learned, right? And so now I know I need to Still need to learn Apple Jam and like pretty much all of these, right? Okay, cool. So that's what this little feature is for. Again, if you don't want it, go ahead and delete it. But I'm going to leave it there for now. We are going to uncheck everything so that I don't give y'all my impromptu inspo board that isn't really my inspo board. You can add more views and basically, you know, filter by any of these properties here. If you just want to filter out all of the cherry blossom DIYs, you could do that. If you want to filter out all of the DIYs that use glowing moss, you can do that. So there's, you know, lots you can do with this. Oh, if you want to, we'll come back to that actually. I'm going to show y'all how to use this property in the furniture catalog section. Let's move on to the furniture catalog. Again, we have everything organized by category here. You can do the same thing with the inspo board. The inspo board's already there for you. I also have a section for all uncatalogued furniture. I'm not going to check anything because what should happen is if I check something off, then it's going to disappear and I don't want to have to get it back. So, but basically this will help you keep track of anything that you have cataloged. Customizable furniture. I have a little section for that. Again, if you don't want it, you can just delete it. Okay, so we also have a section for Happy Home Paradise. So what you can do here is, so let's say you go to the Happy Home Paradise archipelago, right? And you see some villagers on your beach and you want to know what items they will unlock. Let's say Anka's on our beach. These are the items that she will unlock for you. Another way you can use this little feature, let's say you're trying to figure out how to unlock the elegant furniture set in Happy Home Paradise. Search elegant and open up any of these little cards and it'll show you all of the villagers that will unlock that particular item. Let's also go through all of the properties that we have here. Again, we have a category property. We have the Happy Home Academy themes, if that is at all useful to y'all, it's there. Where you can acquire these items, once again. The size of the items, if that's, you know, something that you feel the need to know. Okay, so status isn't as relevant now that we can go to Harv's Island and customize the furniture. This was a property that I created back when we had to catalog the colors that we wanted of the furniture that we wanted. So I had a little status thing for no variants collected, some variants collected, all variants collected. And then in the description, we had a little checkbox of all the colorations and the patterns as well, just to like have that information. Obviously you don't really need to do anything to collect the patterns, but yeah, this was all there. I just kept it there in case people still wanted to keep track of what colors they had, but now the catalog checkbox is really all we need. Again, inspo board, we already went through all of that. Custom codes, we have a section for whether or not that item uses custom codes. Another thing I want to mention, a little disclaimer, I did this all by myself. There's a chance there are some little mistakes here and there. If there are, you know, reach out. You can DM me on Insta or Twitter or whatever and just let me know and I'll fix it. But yeah, I can only stare at these Notion templates for so long and try and catch any mistakes I've made. I just don't know. That's it for the furniture catalog. Next we have the clothing catalog. Okay, takes a little bit to load sometimes. There is a lot of information. Oh, that's another thing y'all should know. Okay, so when duplicating this template, it's going to take a while for it to show up in your Notion. At least give it like 10, 20 minutes. Maybe 30. I don't know. I don't remember how long it took. It actually doesn't take the same amount of time to duplicate every time I've duplicated this. So there's really no way of knowing, but just like duplicate it, let it be for a while, and it'll show up eventually. If it doesn't, if you've given it like an hour or so and it's still not working, like reach out and I'll see if there's another way that maybe I can just like, maybe there's a way I can share the template for each individual category and y'all can put it all together in Notion. But it should be fine. It'll just take a bit. So again, I have a tab for every single category. We've got all of the tools and all of the little like red items in here. I kind of just combined all of that there. The pocket magazine, the pocketbook, that's in here. It's not in furniture, just to like let y'all know. If you're having trouble finding things, it might just be in a section that you didn't expect it to be. If so, I apologize for that, but I'm hoping to get ahead of that issue. So the properties we have are the categories. We also have the source, or where you can acquire the clothing item. The style, so this is mostly for if you like to gift your villagers clothing based on their clothing preferences. You can filter out what the style of the clothing is to give your villagers whatever they want, right? We do have a property for unlock in Happy Home Paradise. This one was harder because villagers don't necessarily unlock clothing. I don't know for sure if you can unlock clothing by unlocking the player's catalog. So basically, when you've designed 27 homes, then you unlock the player's catalog and you can use whatever furniture you have cataloged. And possibly you can use the whatever clothing you have cataloged, but I don't know for sure because I don't really pay attention to clothing as much in Happy Home Paradise. I know some people like to decorate with like socks on the floor or like hanging the clothes on the wall. I tend to forget about that, but there are some clothing items that are unlocked by specific villagers, so you can check on that. Obviously, we can't customize clothing, so this is where the little status property actually is useful. So you can select whether you've collected some of the variants of the clothes, all of them, or none of them, and you can check which colors you have. Next up, we have KK Glider songs. Just check the ones that you have, and it's pretty much the same as the fossils and red dart. Reactions, this is probably the most boring one, but check off all of the reactions that you have collected. BFO stands for best friends only. Y'all probably figured that, but it's a weird looking acronym to me, so I thought I would just clarify that. Okay, Dreamies Tracker. So we have 3 tabs in this section. We have the default view, which is a table, and you see all the information about the villagers. We have the villager photo, we have their name. You can check off whether they are a dreamie or whether they are a current resident on your island. And then style, this is where gifting comes in. Let's talk about the My Dreamies and My Residence tabs next. So let's say my starter sisterly is Agnes, my starter normal is Alice, Alfonso is my starter lazy, Annabelle is my starter peppy. She was actually my first starter peppy. Antonia is our starter jock. So let's say we only have those 5 currently living on our island. They'll show up in my residence. And then let's say I'm about to go dreamy hunting and I don't really know who I want. So I'm just gonna start checking off villagers that I like. So I like Apollo. I'm a big fan of Audie. I like Aurora too. Azalea. Let's say I'm looking for summer villagers, right? Blanche could be, maybe, yeah. Boone, Boot, Cleo could be. Coco, for sure. I consider her a summer villager. Dom, maybe. Flora, for sure. Oh my gosh, speaking of Flora, you know who we have to get. Speaking of ostriches, I should say. Julia. Let's check off Julian too. My birthday twin. Lily, for sure, summer villager. Okay, and Lopez. We'll stop there because I feel like we've checked off a lot of villagers. So next, go to My Dreamies. This is obviously more than 10 villagers, so let's start narrowing it down, shall we? Aurora is not a summer villager. You know what? Blanche doesn't really go with everybody else. I for sure want to keep, I like these more like colorful villagers, so I think we're gonna get rid of Apollo. And how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so I'm gonna take off Coco, as much as I love her. And then who's more colorful? Like Boone or Dom? I mean, they're both kind of that mixture of neutral versus colorful, but Boone is a gorilla villager, and something about that makes me feel like he's more of a summer villager than Dom is. So this is my little summer villager dreamy list. This is not going to be my summer villager dreamy list, but it could be. It's not, but for sure I'm gonna have Julia on that list because I have not had her yet and I love her. But yeah, that's how you use this section. Again, if you don't like either of these tabs, go ahead and delete them. Next, we have the Nook Miles section. We have them organized by like the different categories of Nook Miles gold. I prefer this to like scrolling through all of the Nook Miles cards on the Nook phone. So you can just kind of see everything here. You can, you know, mark the day that you completed the goal, and it'll tell you how many miles you earn by doing whatever the task is. And yeah, that's pretty much all that is. Now, these last few sections, go ahead and delete them if you don't like them. They pretty much function at the same way that like Pinterest does. I just like having everything all together, and I tend to forget about Pinterest. Another thing you could do is just like make a note of ideas that you have. I'm gonna do my Positano Cliffs, obviously. I want like a little secluded area for my 2 houses, because I'm gonna have 2 houses like I did on my previous Northern Hemisphere island. You could do that, or you could do it the way that I have it for the little seasonal sections. This is just where I save the custom codes that I like. Again, I just like having everything all in one place. So that's what those are. We also have helpful links. You can add more if you want. If you want me to add more to the template, let me know down in the comments. If you have ideas for other spreads to add anywhere in here, let me know. Any changes that would make this more helpful to you, let me know. I'm happy to help. We have a link to how to figure out your weather seed if you want to know what your weather is gonna be at all times. And there's like a little video tutorial as to how to figure out what your weather seed is for those of y'all who don't know how. I love doing this, and when I do that, I just copy and paste the number right in here. We have a couple of helpful guides. So this one is the flowers calendar. So if you want like your best shot at getting a certain type of native flower when you start the game, this will tell you like how to do that. And then this link, again, I already mentioned, this is the Red's art guide. And then this is a fun little thing that I wanted to save for myself, and I don't know, if you're interested, it makes like a little boarding pass for your character. But that's it for the Notion template. If you want to see, hold on, I'll show y'all. I have the Southern Hemisphere template. Oh, I haven't made all of the views yet, but they will be there, I promise. I'm here, I'll show y'all. I'm about to start making them. The May bugs, fish, and sea creatures tabs will be there for the Southern Hemisphere island as well. Okay, so that's it for my little Notion tour. Links to duplicate these templates will be down below. Again, give it some time. It might take a bit because there's just so much information here. But I hope this is helpful to y'all. Feel free to share this video. Feel free to share the templates. You know, just let people know where you got it from. I'll keep y'all posted on the art that I end up making for this. It'll be on Twitter or on Instagram, so follow me there, and I'll try and remember to keep y'all posted with my progress on all of that. Or if you want to, you know, customize it to your own personal aesthetics, feel free to do that as well. My next video will be my Positano Cliff speed build. It may take a while for it to go up because I have discovered that sometimes editing can trigger migraines for me, especially for speed builds, so we'll see. Check out my other social media. That'll all be linked in the description. That's it for today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed and found it useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your other Animal Crossing friends. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye!